This conference will now be recorded.
So first of all, welcome. Thank you all very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. My name is Kathleen Walker, and I'm co-chair of the Immigration Practice Group, and I'm your moderator, I guess, today. And I have with us a number of people that are sharing their precious time for marketing. I'm very grateful, so hopefully we'll walk away with a lot of useful information to apply. So we've got Nathalie Daum, and I had to look up everybody's official title. So here we go, Director of Marketing and Business Development. We've got Claire Larking, who is the Regional Marketing Manager. Christine Kloka, the Senior Manager of Business Development. And finally, Wendy Hulton from Toronto, another one of our members here of the law firm, has agreed to help out. And I've always been very envious of how she can use LinkedIn so well as Facebook. So I look forward to her sharing her words of wisdom with us as well. We've sent out a PowerPoint for your reference. I wish we could share it, but I can't do it online. So I'm hoping that you received the email and that you have access to the PowerPoint, because that's what we're going to be going through. If you did not receive it, maybe you can shoot us an email and we'll try to get it out to you while this thing goes on. We're going to last about an hour, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the first slide. And we're supposed to be talking about establishing your expertise. I'm allegedly supposed to give you some information about that. And I thought, every time I think about marketing, I'm always thinking about that movie, Jerry Maguire. Maybe that's silly of me, but if you're thinking about marketing and you want to at least have a laugh, you've got to think about Jerry Maguire. And on our first slide, I have a reference to Rod Tidwell, who talks about needing the Quan, and he defines the Quan as having love, respect, community, and of course the dollars. And for me, when I started out in 1985 as a baby lawyer, and that's a long time ago, it was very intimidating to think that I was supposed to go out there and figure out a way to make money. I'm an academic. I've tried really hard to learn what I needed to learn to get through law school and get through the bar exam, and now I needed to chart a course to try to become a professional. So I suppose what I started is to figure out that I needed to establish who I was, what was my brand. I didn't really realize that at the time, but it's developed into that. And to figure out what works, because when you're spending your time, it's so important to keep back time for yourself and your family to keep you on course, because this practice will absorb every moment of time you're willing to give it. And I have learned a lot of lessons over my 35 plus years that it's extremely important to remember you need self-grounding more so than anything else. And that's based on having hopefully happiness, or at least comfort in your life. So what is all of this about the brand, and it's hard enough to just get through the day and get your work done? What the heck with this marketing? We're very fortunate to have a marketing team. When you're on your own, you don't have this great group of people to help you out. And so part of this presentation is focused on how do we use those resources? What resources are out there to reduce the time that you have to spend on it, and instead focus on that grounding of your family and your personal life, as well as your professional life. So I think it's really important to sit back and chart a course if you're able to when you start. I now have a resume that I started listing all of my stuff that I was doing since I started in 1985. It is really long now, with all the different speaking engagements and stuff that I've done. But by keeping a record of that, it's kind of helped me in figuring out, am I spending my time in a useful way? Is it a way that it makes me feel better, which is also important, rather than just, hey, is there a return on an investment? I'm getting a buck out of this for spending time doing this. I have a hard time thinking that way. I need to have something that's fulfillment to me and makes me feel like, okay, it's worth my time. That's why I'm going to do it. my brand that I have attempted to accomplish is being the best that I can possibly be in my profession. I want to be number one, if I could be, in my profession nationally and internationally. That doesn't mean that that's right for everybody, but that's what my focus has been. I want to be intense in what I do. I want to be on the cutting edge. I want to be a national expert. And after a hell of a long time and a lot of work, I'm somewhat along those lines. So that gives me confidence in what I do in my work, but I found that that has to be also balanced with every interaction I have needs to be one where I value the person I'm speaking with, that I speak with humility and interest in what they do. And I think that those guidelines are very important in your professional development. So my book that I have developed over the years has been founded on expertise and good relationships with people, and I've been fortunate to be able to engage in that. So I would encourage you that when you're trying to survive and you think you don't have another nanosecond of time, to remember that it's real important that every person continue their life outside of the law, because not only do you need to be a high-level professional in your expertise, but also every single engagement is a good thing. And from a marketing perspective, if I'm engaging in my horseback riding, which I like to do very much, or if I'm doing professional community stuff. So I spent 4 years as president of the El Paso Foreign Trade Association. We put the first dedicated commuter lane in the nation, which has been followed as a model. After 9/11, with the testimony that I did on the Hill, I learned a lot about border security and lots of different things that have helped me. All of this interests me. So I would hope that everyone has the opportunity to assess in developing my brand and developing my expertise, what's going to be my niche. And every single lawyer, even if you've just started out, there's always new stuff starting. I can remember, although I didn't like him, my first supervisor at a law firm gave me a little cartoon that basically showed that any new baby associate can be an expert in something new. And so don't be intimidated. And I find that if I have downtime, then I will write something, and I enjoy writing it. And then I figure out, where do I want to publish it? Is it in a trade magazine? Is it in a professional type of publication? On the blog posts that are done, you'll think about, how do I link in to expanding that scope? And we're going to discuss that during the presentation today. So I just want you to feel, encouraged in starting out on this task if you're beginning, or if you've been doing it forever. I need to take notes from you, I know, because everybody has great input to help us out. I just find that don't isolate yourself and just work. Pro bono work is useful in making connections. Writing and publishing, even your hobbies are useful in making connections, and all of those different connections over the long term can end up with work from the most bizarre places. And not having a name recognition at the start. Nowadays we have social media and all these different resources, and that's where I'm hoping marketing will help us all in providing us an outline so we can use the tools that we've got here within the firm. And it's meant to make your life easier and making your marketing course of action easier as well. So with that, I need to turn it over to my co-panelists. And I believe Nathalie is starting us off from marketing. So thank you, Nathalie. And she's joining us, I believe, from Alabama, and she's freezing to death.
I'm on vacation, kind of. Thank you for having us. We're all very happy to be here with the mighty Division 4. You guys rock. And so we wanted to be here to share with you and answer some of the questions that you all, I guess, have put together, or Kathleen and Cindy have kind of put together for us to go through. So let's just jump in. The first one that I'm going to address is, how do you contact marketing effectively? And here's a really short answer. Just reach out to one of us on this call, Claire, Christine, or myself. You can email dw-marketing. That sends it to everyone in the marketing department. Christine is an awesome resource for Division 4, so you can always start with her, but we will make sure that it gets to the right person in the team. You don't have to worry about who does what to which thing. Don't worry about it. We don't want to waste your time trying to figure that out. Send it to Christine or one of us or that general email box, and we will get it to the right person. We will track it, and we'll make sure to round back and ensure that you know when it's complete. So please don't hesitate. Don't let the who to call. Remember that old matrix that was sent out? Don't worry about that. Just send it to Christine or any one of us, and we will take care of us. We'll get you to the right place. I was also asked to address, how does marketing help to keep the DW brand promotion consistent, which is a great question. You know, first of all, we closely monitor it. That's part of what my marching orders are under Brandon, is to really take a broad view across the entire department and the firm and make sure that we're having a consistent message. So we closely monitor it, for one. We work very cohesively as a team. So, you know, behind the scenes, we get together in small groups. We have a lot of email traffic with CCs and BCCs to make sure everyone on the team knows kind of what's going on in the different areas, how it may interact with them, just so that they're in the know and that they can make sure and follow through with all of their elements that may come through with it. One of the examples I'll give is, if you have, for instance, Kathleen just wrote something and it will be published, and once it is published, we're going to go through and we're going to send it through what Claire and I lovingly call the process. And that means we're going to draft a firm vision overview blurb for you to review and approve. We're going to draft a social media post, and we're going to draft a bio update. All of those things come to you in one single email. They're all very similar, so you can review it in a consistent, cohesive fashion, and then we'll take it from there. We'll make sure it gets posted to social media, your bio gets updated, and it goes on Firm Vision. So we try to make the most of what you all are doing marketing-wise, so that we can really make that pay for you. We also really try to have a consistent voice through our advertising, of course, our RFP and RFQ responses. Those often run through the three of us, and then our colleague Caitlin Gillum, we're the lovingly referred to as the RFP team. So one of the four of us are always on top of it and letting the others know. And of course, our website, which is where most folks go to first. When they come to check out DW, they often go there at the very beginning. One thing to note, marketing has templates for pitch packets, PowerPoints, proposals, letters to prospective clients or clients. Please don't hesitate to use this as a resource. You have something comes in, let us know. We'll often have a resource for you, either that template. We can do a first draft for you. Certainly if it's a pitch or a proposal that you'd like us to do a draft for you, we're happy to jump on that and work it through and make sure that you get what you need. And then the last question that I'll address before turning it over to Claire is, how do you keep informed about what projects the marketing and business development department are working on? Well, that's a little bit easier of a question. So Firm Vision, first of all, is a really great resource. I know that it can get long at times, but even if you're skimming, you can get a really good idea about what types of projects we're working on with your fellow colleagues across the firm and across all the other divisions. The other ways are to follow DW social media channels. You can pick one or you can do all of them, but be assured if you choose LinkedIn, I mean, LinkedIn is the one that we focus on the most, as that is the most business related we have found. If you follow us on LinkedIn channel, we will definitely be telling you what's happening with your colleagues across the firm and the country. And then I did want to also mention as a parting thought, please continue to ask us to attend your meetings. You know, Claire sits in on the healthcare meeting. I think Christine sits on some of your meetings. That's a great way for them to then hear what's happening and be able to come back and say, hey, I'm not picking on anybody, but Wendy's showing something. Wendy, I saw that, or I heard that you're embarking on this project. Can we get you a copy of your bio, a logo, whatever the case may be? So do include us if you can. If you like, we'd love to sit in and listen and figure out how we can help you in any way. Okay? And with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Claire.
Hello. Okay, so I help manage our social media. So most anything that gets posted to social media runs through me first, and then it kind of funnels through to the rest of the people. So Dickinson Wright actively posts to 5 different social media networks. We have LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And social media is important for many reasons. It allows us to communicate with clients, prospects, and employees. It helps keep our firm top of mind for clients and prospective clients, and allows us to position ourselves as the experts on a variety of different matters. And then having all of these active social media platforms pointing back towards our website helps keep our website higher in the search results on search engines. So I wanted to just give you a quick overview of each of the platforms we're active on. If you have the presentation opened, there are hyperlinks throughout to our various profiles on slides 10 and 11. If you don't already follow us or like us, please go ahead and click on those links. You can do it now. So LinkedIn, we currently have 2 accounts. We have Dickinson Wright PLLC and Dickinson Wright LLP. Our PLLC account has 5,010 followers and an average of 30,000 monthly post impressions. That means that 30,000 unique users are seeing our posts every single month. Our LLP account has 486 followers and an average of 4,000 monthly post impressions. An easy way to keep your profile active is by sharing DW's posts. We've already created the content for you. All you have to do is share. And I definitely encourage you to update your LinkedIn profile. I'm happy to help. Summer is a great time to do it. Some of the things to think about when you're updating your profile are: how old is your photo? Have you filled out the About section? Are all of your recent publications listed? Yes, so please reach out to me if you need any assistance with updating. I can send you your latest headshot and give recommendations for further updates as well. The rest of our social media platforms are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Facebook, we have 630 followers with an average reach of 3,000 unique users per month. Instagram is fairly new. We just started it back in October, so it's certainly growing. We have 127 followers with an average reach of 400 unique users per month. And Twitter, we have the same 2 accounts as we do with LinkedIn, one for PLLC and one for LLP. Our PLLC account has 1,540 followers with an average of 20,000 monthly tweet impressions per month. And our LLP account has 71 followers with an average of 2,000 monthly tweet impressions. And our YouTube channel, it's also fairly new, and we've just, over the past year, we've just started to get more active in the video department. So it houses all of our videos. So hopefully you've seen some of them or even been a guest on Minutes on the Matter. And we've started doing, if you've produced a webinar with Christine, we've started doing quick, small, 30-second summaries via video. So definitely subscribe there and you will see more of what is going on throughout the firm. To further amplify our marketing efforts, we use the news aggregators JD Supra, Lexology, and Mondac. They push out anything that's published to our website, which includes client alerts and blog posts, and they push it out to their readership. This greatly amplifies our reach, as JD Supra has 650,000 subscribers, Lexology has 500,000, and Mondac has over 1 million. Shortly after an article is published to our website or blog, it will appear on all 3 of the news aggregators, and it's pushed out by the aggregators through social media and sometimes email. So they offer to automatically post your article to your LinkedIn account if you opt to enable that feature. And I definitely encourage you to opt to enable that feature, especially if you're not super active on LinkedIn. And all 3 aggregators provide you with analytics regarding your article. So who's reading it, what companies, how many times did they read it? Did they share it via social media? Did they forward it? And even if they've printed it. So if you have any questions as far as analytics on your article, please don't hesitate to reach out. JD Supra also offers monthly writing ideas. They send articles that they've noticed are trending regarding hot topics, and all you have to do is opt in to begin receiving those, and I am happy to help you do that as well. Another way to further amplify our marketing efforts is to share Dickinson Wright's social media posts. This is an easy way to keep DW top of mind and you top of mind within your network. And I am now going to pass it to Wendy Hulton, who's going to share more LinkedIn tips.
Hi, everybody. So I'm going to give you sort of the practical perspective as one of the lawyers/attorneys who actually uses LinkedIn. I was sort of a late adopter of LinkedIn. I didn't join LinkedIn until about 2013, just shortly before I joined Dickinson Wright. So I don't claim to be an expert, but if you click on my PowerPoint slides, which started slide 13, I'm just going to share with you a few of my tips. So going to slide 14. So as I point out there, a lot of us have been forced to isolate for the last 14 months. Here in Toronto, we're still under a stay-at-home order until about June 14th. But what's happened is of course, we've all had the opportunity to become more active on social media and use that as a way to connect with other people. So pandemic or not, I think LinkedIn is the most important social media channel for professionals. And here's the reality. People will wonder what's wrong with you if you aren't on LinkedIn. So that sort of takes me to my first tip, and that's the next slide, slide 15. Don't have our wonderful marketing department, like Claire, for instance, set up a LinkedIn bio for you, because she can do a wonderful job of it and then ignore it. Our firm, Dickinson Wright, actually has a number of attorneys with these type of zombie LinkedIn accounts, and it doesn't look good on them or us. I'm actually connected, I would say, to probably 90% of the attorneys in Dickinson Wright, and that's a lot of people. Except I've sent multiple invitations to the zombie attorneys, and of course I've received no response from them. So you can just imagine, you know, if I'm feeling a little bit rejected, you can imagine how our clients feel when they send an invitation to that attorney and they get a resounding silence. Not good. So next slide, slide 16, some tips about your profile pic. These are just some of my pet peeves. So, you know, as Claire pointed out, she can help you with a picture. Use an up-to-date one. Yes, mine is 10 years old, I confess. I need to work on that. But don't have your wife or your girlfriend or your children or your pets in the picture. You'll see people do that. It's not very professional, unless, of course, maybe you practice, you know, family or animal law. Next slide, slide 17. So when you're crafting your headline, actually right underneath your name, you can use very, very broad terms that search engines and SEO will help people find you when they're searching. And I've actually gotten clients from LinkedIn. Partially it's because I'm very active, and partially it's because people have just literally Googled me and come to my LinkedIn bio. Next slide, slide 18. So yeah, I am a bit of a LinkedIn snob. It says on the slide less than 1,600. I think I'm actually less than 1,700 followers right now. But that's because, in my humble opinion, you need to consider who you invite to link with you and whose invitations you accept. So I don't accept everybody, and I certainly don't invite everybody. But if you're new to LinkedIn, you can certainly get your network started by inviting other members of Dickinson Wright to link to you, friends, school alumni, people across the country and the world that actually are in your practice area, and then target people that you know at companies of interest. I always think it's nice to send a note with your connection request, because a personalized note is one of the best ways to help initiate a conversation. It's not mandatory. There are some people in some sectors where, you know, a note would be redundant, but a note to someone is always nice. Next slide. As Claire was saying, it's very easy to post. Anything that, you know, you have, it's a cut and paste to post an article, and then 2 seconds more to add a headline and a comment on it. So it doesn't take very long. And anything that you've written or other colleagues have written, it takes really only a second to post that. And it's a good way to start building your brand and increasing the recognition of Dickinson Wright. So on that point, if you're posting a link to an article from a third-party source, please read the article thoroughly to make sure that the subject matter aligns with both your values and your client's interests. As recently as a couple months ago, one of our colleagues reached out to me because I had posted something that, you know, and through a certain lens might have not been seen as optimal for a potential target client. And so I just took down the post. But you always have to be very cognizant of what you're posting and how it could be perceived by other people with different points of view. So what I recommend you do is step into the shoes of your clients. What are their pain points? What's keeping them up at night? Those are the sort of things that are going to interest them, and that's what you can post about. It doesn't have to be just purely law. It can be anything of use that's going to make their life a little bit easier and is going to make them read your article and bring you to their attention. So next slide, slide 21. You can build stronger relationships by posting content about others in your network and then tagging them in your post. So on this slide, you'll see a picture of a gentleman by the name of Andrew Bromfield, who I actually met at a Board of Trade conference. He and I were sitting next to each other, and then we connected on LinkedIn. And then subsequently, some of our comments back and forth are of mutual interest to our client base. And we'll tag each other in those, which keeps us top of mind with both of our clients and contacts. And then finally, and it's my last slide, slide 22, beware of LinkedIn's mass import your contacts feature. Don't do that, because you don't want to upload your whole address book. You don't want to send a LinkedIn invitation to every one of your Outlook contacts. If you spend 5 minutes a day on your LinkedIn, you will be rewarded. It's kind of like build it and they will come. And I'm personal testament to the fact that you actually can get clients. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our wonderful marketing team.
Thanks so much, Wendy. Hi. It's Christine Kloka, and I'm batting cleanup today. So looks like I have a little bit of an echo. Hold on 1 second. If I can clear that up. Maybe not. Okay, we'll try it. So I'm going to handle webinars and recordings and move that through, telling you we use On24 for our webinars. It's kind of the gold standard for webinars. We use it to convert our prospect through engagement into clients and into revenue. I'm going to stop this for 1 second. Again, I'm getting a lot of echo.
Christine, it might be, Wendy might need to go on mute. That might be the answer. There we go.
Thanks. Is that better? Maybe that's better. Okay, let's try this again. Hi, Christine Kloka, talking about webinars. We use On24. On24 is a platform that converts engagement into revenue. How do we do that? Through slideshow presentations and video clips that explain our content, explain our ideas, and educate our audience. We do that through streaming video, the talking heads. You've seen that in our webinars before. Video clips, live Q&A, post-event surveys, resources that help support your points, like if you have client alerts or blog posts or you've written articles, those also can help support the point you're making to your audience. And then we record those webinars and they're distributed so that that webinar lives longer and has a greater audience. And with webinars, the engagement really tells the story. So in the last 18 months, we've had 51 webinars. We've had over 8,772 people attend our webinars. That's a huge number. I'm telling you, people, we don't get those kind of numbers in person. How do these people get to us? Well, they're invited by our mailing lists that we maintain in marketing, and we send out the webinar invitation to the appropriate mailing list. We talk to the practice group chairs, we get their approval to use their list, and we send that invite out. If appropriate, we also will send it to referral sources like chambers or to SHRM chapters or something like that, ACC. We also post it to the website, we post it to social media. So those people that are coming to us are familiar with us, they've already engaged with us before, so now they're joining in a different way to hear more about that topic. So 6,368 people attended live. That is a 72% conversion rate. So what that means is that out of all the people that we invited, 72% of them attended a live event. That's huge. Give us some, raise the roof again on that. That's a huge number. 1,607 of those live attendees asked to be added to our mailing list. So maybe they came to us from a chambers or a social media post, and now they want to hear more about us. And now we have the ability to market to them directly. Now we can start mailing them things. We can invite them to other events. Now they're ours. So this is a great way to like fill that funnel, fill that pipeline. We also will use what we call behavior analytics to increase in terms of revenue. So the more they engage with us, the sooner that they buy. And attendee behavior helps us uncover those pain points or what questions those clients may have on their mind. So we'll take all their activity, all their behavior during a webinar, and we compile that and know, did they ask a question? Did they download some resources? Did they take their content journey somewhere else? So did they look at our webinar and bounce to our website? Did they go to a blog? Did they sign up for a blog? Did they look at another and listen to another webinar? So knowing all of those analytics, we can help you and say like, hey, Jordan Schreier, these people attended your webinar. These are the questions they asked. This makes it easier when you want to follow up with that person. You can say, hey, I saw that you asked this question, saw that you had this webinar that you attended. How else can I help you? So it turns those kind of a warm lead hot. How do you get started with a webinar? First, check with your practice group. Check with someone else in your practice group and see if they maybe want to partner with you. See what else someone else in your practice group is doing. Sometimes a blog, client alert, or an article can be turned into a great webinar. A lot of times you can do just an internal webinar. Maybe there's some new legislation or a new law that can help you educate people in your practice group or educate the firm on something new. Bar associations, memberships in different associations can also be a great way to kind of partner and also to grow that mailing list. And remember that it doesn't have to be an hour-long webinar. Sometimes that seems like a really heavy lift. So if you can do a webinar, I call it snackable content, but bite-sized content, something small, start with 15 minutes. That oftentimes can be just enough to kind of kick up some dirt and figure out who's really paying attention and who you want to connect with. The other thing that I think people really want to know about is conferences and networking events. So how do you identify community and professional organizations that you might want to belong to? Check their membership list and check their LinkedIn. I mean, that's often the best way to find out who belongs and should you belong there too. Attend their meeting or two, assess their content, assess their attendees, see if that's a group that you really want to join. You can determine how you want to get involved by thinking about maybe there's a co-educational opportunity, maybe you do a webinar with them, maybe you do a networking event with them. And also know your goals prior to joining. So if you want to join something for the purpose of growing your network, maybe finding new clients in a new area, then you're going to have to look kind of horizontally. If you want to know more about your industry or something that you're specifically doing, look vertically and see if you can meet people socially or in those meetings. And before you do, often check with marketing, because we can help you make those meetings that seem awkward at the beginning not quite so awkward after all. We're really good at icebreakers in marketing. We're really good at helping you figure out the best approach. So contact us in marketing for that. Sponsorships and memberships. I'm going to kind of bookend what Kathleen said with the Jerry Maguire movie. And we always say, help me help you. Help me help you. Tell marketing, if you're going to go to an event, or you want to sponsor something, or you want to be a member of something, talk to us, tell us first, so that we can help you promote it. We can promote it with social media, with Firm Vision. We can get it on the events calendar, but we can also help you to brainstorm ways to get more ROI from that event. How do we cross-pollinate? How do we leverage that? How do we get more of the sponsorship level? And when are those items due? When do you need to have your speaker bio done? When do you need to send a logo? How do we get the attendee list? How do we make use of that? Those are all things that marketing can help you with, and we're happy to do so. We love that kind of thing. RFPs and pitches, you know, everybody gets an RFP at some point or other, and they're huge ticking time bombs on your desk. But again, we love that stuff. We want to help you with that. So send it to marketing as soon as you can, because the more time we have, the better the product. Our process is to start and have an initial meeting with you. We look at the background of the request. What do we know about the client? What do we know about why they're putting together this RFP right now? Maybe we can find out who else is bidding. And then we'll talk about, who do you want on your team? Who's going to be the lead attorney? How can we address diversity within that team? What other practices need to be included? What are we thinking about with rates? Those are all things that we need to talk about first, so that we can put together a really good proposal for you. We also will talk through the timeframes and deliverables. When's that first draft due? What kind of research do we need to do? That kind of thing. We'll do drafts, we'll have conversations and edits, and we work really closely with you so that we come out with the best product, the very best proposal that represents you and the firm. We also have some great research capabilities in marketing. So if you get an opportunity for a pitch, you want to make contact with a company, talk to us. We can do a litigation profile. We'll find out who currently represents them, who knows who, any previous contacts with the company that we've had in the firm, and who's had that contact and what's the frequency been. We can also do some market research, find out what their pain points are. What are they currently experiencing in that industry? How can we address that? And that's all I have. And I didn't cough once because I have a terrible cold, so hooray for me. Any questions? We would love to, we'd love to have a discussion and answer some questions. It looks like we have about 20 minutes left, so don't be shy.
Christine, one thing I just wanted to make sure that, you know, people were aware in trying to expand the exposure of their blogs just within the firm. I don't know if everyone recognizes that when you post that blog, you already have easy links to Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, and all I have to do is just click to be able to expand that. I don't know if there's a more automated process than that, but that to me is very useful. And also, if we're all trying to raise the boat of Dickinson Wright, I think it's real important to look at LinkedIn as well as Facebook posts concerning Dickinson Wright, and go ahead and click on that you like them, and be aware of what your other firm members are doing. It helps me know what our levels of expertise are.
That is a great point, Kathleen. Very, very good point. Any other questions or comments? Wow, we must have been very thorough.
Well, I think the parting comment for me is just that we're here to help, and we're here to take as much off of your plate as we can, ensuring that you can focus on billable work, and we can do some of the heavy lifting on the marketing and BD side. So I know that the three of us, as well as the rest of our colleagues, are very committed to doing that for you. Please don't hesitate to give us a call if we can help you in any way.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. And again, if you do have questions, because you might, as you review our materials and think of ways to apply them to your own practice, feel free to give us a call. As marketing, or as Nathalie said, you can contact marketing through Outlook. You can call any one of us. I am your practice group liaison, your division liaison. So I am your first point of contact for anything. So if you have questions, please let us know. And otherwise, everybody go and enjoy the rest of a beautiful day.
Thanks.
Thanks, Christine. Thank you. Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you.
Thanks all. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.